What's up, everyone? I'm Guy Wozniak, and you're watching episode number 39 of Comic Book Jeopardy. On today's show, we have 30 new questions and answers for you to test your knowledge of comic books and more. But before we get into that, I have two things that I need to talk about real quick. First, Comic Book Jeopardy is going to be going to a longer but less frequent episode format, which I'll cover at the end of the show. So stick around till after Final Jeopardy to hear all about that, please. Now, second, I just wanted to do a quick shout out and a thank you to the channel members who have been helping and supporting the channel over the last year. Thanks to all of you guys. We really appreciate all that help and support. And yeah, really, I can't thank you enough. Now, let's go over our categories for this week's show, and then we'll dive into it. Category number 1 this week will be X-Force, and this will be a series of questions all about the original iteration of the X-Force team and the comics from the 1990s. Category number 2 will be MCPU. And in this one, we are going to do some questions about some of the biggest flops in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Category number 3 today is World Records, and these are world records that pertain to comic book culture, obviously. Category number 4 is 3 actors, and in this one, we will give you 3 actors, and you have to give us the character or the role that all 3 have played. Category number 5 is our blind bag category, and these are the channel member submitted comic book questions. So thanks to everyone for sending these in. We really do appreciate it. And finally, category number 6 is 1990s Potpourri, and this is, of course, our weekly wildcard category, as voted on by the channel members, and this one is a series of fun but random questions about 1990s pop culture. 1990s Potpourri went up against horror movie classics and The Muppets in the members' poll this week, and it was a close one, but 1990s was our winner, so thanks for voting on this, guys. We really appreciate it. Now, with all of that out of the way, let's go ahead and dive into the questions, and we'll kick it off with X-Force for 200. Prior to June of 1991, the team known as X-Force went by another name, and this was it. What is the New Mutants? MCPU for 200. Wildly considered the biggest MCU theatrical flop, this 2023 film is the lowest grossing film in the franchise. What is The Marvels? And yeah, the Marvels did like 200 million worldwide in the box office, which is a pretty low number for a Marvel franchise movie. Not awesome, Marvels. Not awesome at all. World records for 200. He holds the world record for most prolific creator or co-creator of comic book characters with 343, including Doctor Doom, Iron Man, and Professor X. Who is Stan Lee? Yeah, can you believe Stan Lee created that many, not only characters, but like how many great, amazing, all-time great characters? At a minimum, it's dozens, if not 100. Really, really amazing work. 3 actors for 200. Christian Bale, Michael Keaton, Adam West. Who is Batman? Blind bag for 200. This was the name of Jessica Jones's original comic book series. What is Alias? And that was sent in to us from our friend and viewer, Hayden Claire Heroes. Thanks very much for sending that in. We appreciate it. 1990s Potpourri for 200. This Seattle band ushered in the alternative revolution with their 1991 anthem, Smells Like Teen Spirit. Who is Nirvana? With that said, let's wrap it up with these cupcake questions. I hope you got them all right. If not, no worries. We're going to dive into the 400 pointers, and you've got plenty of chances for some more trivia. X-Force 400. This mutant was the founder and the leader of the original X-Force team. Who is Cable, or Nathan Summers? MCPU 400. Despite kicking off Phase 5 of the MCU franchise, this 2023 film heavily underperformed and it failed to reach profitability. What is Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania? Yeah, who doesn't remember the MODOK scenes and that character from that movie? They really botched that one bad. Not good at all. World records for 400. This character holds the record for the most live-action film adaptations of any comic book character. Who is Batman? Yeah, let us know in the comments down below. How many times has Batman been in a film? I'd like to know. 3 actors for 400. Edward Norton, Lou Ferrigno, and Eric Bana. Who is the Hulk? Of course. Blind bag for 400. Joey Chapman is the 3rd Marvel Comics hero to use this superhero identity, named after the UK flag. Who is Union Jack? And that was sent in to us by viewer and member Chris. Thanks a lot, buddy. 1990s Potpourri for 400. This fuzzy robotic toy became a massive holiday craze in 1998, causing some intelligence agencies to ban them due to spying fears. What is a Furby? That will do it for the 400 pointers. Let's go ahead and test your knowledge on some 600 point questions right now. X-Force for 600. The X-Force team's official first appearance is New Mutants issues number 100, and its creation is credited to this creative duo. Who is Rob Liefeld and Fabian Nicieza? MCPU for 600. Among the earliest of MCU films, this 2008 movie remains one of the lowest grossing films in the franchise. What is The Incredible Hulk? Yeah, 2008's Incredible Hulk with Ed Norton. Not a bad flick, really. I enjoyed it at the time, and I've watched it once or twice since then. I don't hate it, but yeah, not the strongest MCU film, that's for sure. World records for 600. This is the most expensive comic book ever sold, commanding $15 million in a private sale. What is Action Comics number 1? Of course, the first appearance of Superman. We all know that one. 3 actors for 600. Joseph Quinn, Michael B. Jordan, and Chris Evans. Who is the Human Torch? Blind bag for 600. After Erwin Schaub got powers from a radioactive spider biting an alien suit, he assumed this identity. Who is Ambush Bug? 1990s Potpourri for 600. This Fox hit teen drama that defined the decade featured characters named Brandon, Brenda, Dylan, and Kelly. What is Beverly Hills? 90210. And that'll wrap up our 600 point round. We're gonna move right into the 800 pointers now, so let's keep it rolling. X-Force for 800. The first volume of X-Force ran for 129 issues from the summer of 1991 through this year when it was canceled. What is 2002? MCPU for 800. This MCU Phase 4 misfire featured a cast including Kit Harington and Richard Madden and made just $165 million at the domestic box office. What is Eternals? Yeah, I watched that one, and I'm gonna be honest, I turned it off in the middle. I didn't even finish it. That was a bomb. World records for 800. In 2020, this HBO show based on the DC graphic novel received 11 Emmy Awards, the most for a comic book inspired series. What is Watchmen? I did watch that series after the fact. I wasn't watching it when it was, currently going on. Very good. I enjoyed it. I liked that they stuck to some of the comic book stories a little closer than the movie. But still, it wasn't as good as the movie, and certainly not as good as the graphic novel. 3 actors for 800. Nicholas Hoult, Gene Hackman, and Jesse Eisenberg. Who is Lex Luthor? And yeah, at least one of those 3 actors was pretty good as Lex Luthor. Blind bag for 800. Quasar wears this advanced ancient alien technology that grants them their powers. What is the quantum bands? 1990s Potpourri for 800. This became the best-selling video game console of the 1990s with games like Crash Bandicoot and Gran Turismo. What is the Sony PlayStation? Alright guys, that'll do it for the 800-point round. We're going to dive into those 1,000-point questions now. I hope you're ready. Let's go. X-Force for 1,000. And you know what that sound means? It is time for a daily double. I'm going to be honest with you. This might be a tough one. It's a long potential answer, so I'm going to give you a few extra seconds. Good luck. The original team roster of X-Force included these 7 Marvel mutants. Who are Cable, Domino, Shatterstar, Warpath, Cannonball, Boom Boom, and Feral. Yeah, I know guys, having to name 7 characters, that's kind of a lot. That's why I made it the daily double and gave you a couple of extra seconds. I hope you got them all. MCPU for 1,000. Despite its popularity and being well received by both fans and critics, this early MCU film was the 3rd lowest money earner for the franchise. What is Captain America, the first Avenger? World records for 1,000. Released in 1991 with 5 variant covers, 4 of which form a large poster, this Marvel issue holds the record for the best-selling single edition of a comic book. What is X-Men Volume 2, Number 1? Yeah, that's right. There are estimated to be over 8 million copies sold of that single comic book. The Jim Lee classic, of course. Actors for 1,000. Jack Kesey, Ron Perlman, and David Harbour. Sure, they all played Hellboy, of course. Blind bag for 1,000. This assassin crime lord whose secret identity is Hunter Rose is better known as this. Who is Grendel? That was sent in to us by Roman G. Thank you very much. And finally, 1990s Potpourri for 1,000. In this 1993 film, John Hammond, the eccentric founder of InGen, claims that he spared no expense. What is Jurassic Park? That will do it for the regular Jeopardy round, and it will take us on to Final Jeopardy for this week's episode. So what you're going to do is tally up your scores and get ready for this final Jeopardy question from the category of Strange Tales. So, yeah, I'll give you a second to lock in your wagers. And then, without any further ado, here is your final Jeopardy question. Good luck. First appearing in Strange Tales number 126, this ruler of the dark dimension is a cosmic entity composed of pure mystical energy and a prominent adversary to Dr. Strange. Who is Dormammu? All right, guys. Well, that will do it for this episode number 39 of Comic Book Jeopardy. I hope you all did really, really well this week. Go ahead and do me a favor. Leave your final score in the comments below and let us know what you got. Now, regarding how I mentioned earlier in the show that we're going to be changing the frequency of Comic Book Jeopardy, and of course, I also mentioned the format. Here's what I've decided. It's that instead of doing a single round show once a week every Sunday, what I'm going to do is a double round show, but only once a month. So what you're going to get is 60 questions plus that final Jeopardy question in every episode, and that show will air on the first Sunday of every month. Now, here's the thing. I do enjoy doing the show, and I like doing it, but it's just not performing well enough to justify making a new episode every single week anymore. But I know that there's a bunch of regular viewers out there, and we appreciate each and every one of you, which is why we're not canceling the show entirely. But the views in the show, they're not improving. And actually, what really made me realize that it seems like a lot of people aren't really interested in the show anymore is that I talked to several of my good friends and I asked them, like, hey, have you been watching the show? I've been making some changes. What do you think of it? And all of them said stuff like, oh, I haven't seen the last 3 or 4 or 5 episodes. So yeah, if my friends aren't even interested in watching it anymore, I'm probably doing something wrong and probably wasting some time making the show to a certain extent. But like I said, I still like doing the show, and I know a lot of you still like watching it. So what we're going to do is a once monthly double-length episode, and we're going to see how that goes for a while. Now, with all of that said, I do appreciate everyone who has been tuning in and watching, so let me say thanks to all of you guys. I do appreciate it. And with that, I will close this one out, as I always do, and I will say thanks again for watching, and of course, keep collecting comic books, keep watching our videos, and until the next one, bye now.